If I was to tell you to write a list of all the fights you want to see in boxing, or at least that you feel really need to happen, we'd probably be here for quite a while. But I think you will probably agree that one of those fights, which apparently could happen later this year, is at light heavyweight between Artur Beterbiev, WBC and IBF champ, against the WBA title holder, Dmitry Bivol. If it goes ahead, it will be something of a consolation prize for the fact that in recent years, we haven't had the fights at 175 pounds that have made obvious sense and that we've really deserved as fans. The most obvious one being Adonis Stevenson against Sergey Kovalev. That was a bit of a Mayweather-Pacquiao situation at 175 pounds that just never ended up happening. A fight between two big knockout punchers that, regardless of who would have won, when two guys willing to put it all on the line when they're in their primes, I think it just sends shockwaves throughout the rest of boxing and makes everyone else more willing to fight their most deserving rivals when it matters, rather than this new trend which has developed of just alphabet champs circling and circling and waiting for the other guy to get older until they feel they've got an advantage or their career's about to end. No. Had they have fought when it mattered, it would have meant something and it would have reverberated. That fight made sense for 3-4 years. The fact it never happened was a real disappointment. Now Beterbiev is 35 already. 35 years of age, and he's only had 15 fights. This is a result of inactivity and promotional issues. There was the chance and the talk of him maybe fighting Kovalev in an all-Russian showdown, another big fight between two big knockout punchers. Didn't happen. Kovalev, I hear, has been done with a DUI, problems again with drinking, and he's mentioned he may even go up to cruiserweight, so forget all of that. If Beterbiev fights Bivol though, Bivol who's undefeated as well, it will at least be a pretty good fight, a fight that matters. Beterbiev, only 15 fights, but won them all, and won them all by knockout, had the most significant win of his career last time against Alexander Yovstik, who has that great nickname, doesn't he, of the Nail, trained by Teddy Atlas. That was a real good victory, won by stoppage, the best way to win. So his profile's really up there. I'm glad after all the inactivity Beterbiev has that he really capitalised there. But Bivol is a different kettle of fish. And while he isn't seemingly quite the beast we thought he may have been, he last got a stoppage, I think, against Sullivan Barrera. His last 4 fights have gone the distance. Though he doesn't seem to be quite as destructive now. We have been shown that there's a lot of good boxing fundamentals to fall back on. Got a great feel for the ring, moves around nicely, walks you onto counters, knows how to pace himself. And that leads me to believe he will play the matador to Beterbiev's bull. But what's interesting here, and why I feel it will also be a good fight, is Bivol doesn't have any massive physical advantages over Beterbiev, not particularly long arms to keep him back, and not a massive puncher, so he hasn't got that great deterrent. These guys should lock horns and it should be an active, gritty fight. A lot of fights, as I say, if I told you to make a list, you'd be here for a long time. Fights that need to happen, fights that should happen. This one definitely does. And again, let's hope it does, because we need some good ones to happen for such a great division. 175 pounds, one of the original 8 weight divisions, absolutely littered with great historical talent. Let's get this one done before Beterbiev gets too old, too injured, or people just completely lose interest.